And the answer is yes, you absolutely should be uploading your videos to a YouTube podcast playlist. All right, I got a killer question in today from CrossFit Master Gym Entertainment 7761. I'm tired just saying that. Anyway, it was a really cool question. He said, should I upload my live stream podcast located under the live tab to YouTube under the video tab too? And well, the answer is yes. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you my workflow and you can do it either way. It's completely up to you. We basically record the podcast live and not really do too much editing, but we do pull it down just so that we can enhance the sound using Auphonic. And I'll put a beginning and end on it and then put it back up. But if you don't want to do that, which is completely fine, you could just download your live stream once it's finished processing. Let it process and do all of that stuff. You can download your live stream from YouTube and then put it back up in the playlist. You can actually just leave it there and add it to a playlist on YouTube. Just make a new playlist, add it to a playlist, and there's a button in the YouTube backend that says convert to podcast. And if you do that, what that would allow you to do is basically turn that show into a podcast. You are going to need to create a 3000 by 3000 image. That's just your podcast art. Don't put too many words on it. Keep it relatively simple and easy to see, and you're kind of good to go. Let me put this in the right format real quick. Hit that, and then I'll show you what I mean. So here's my back end, and I just did this DaVinci Resolve playlist right here. If I scroll down to here and press this button, you'll see where it says set as a podcast. If I press that, I can just add a description and add a thumbnail picture. Of course, you should go in and, change anything like how you want it to be shown. Oldest content first, newest content first. That's completely up to you. Give it a good title and a good description and a 3000 by 3000 thumbnail image. That's all you need to do to convert it into a podcast. And I think it must be said that the definition of podcast is starting to become a little bit nebulous. In the past, people thought of it as a broadcast that you listen to on an iPod. That's what a lot of people think it means. But the reality is, if you have any form of sort of connected content, either connected by theme, connected by topic, connected by, social interest, that can be a podcast. And another question that came up today was, actually a statement. I didn't know that podcasts didn't have to be an hour. And I fully understand where the person got that from. Hey, MC, I fully understand where they got that from because most podcasts are like an hour because I think people are treating them like television shows. But the reality is a podcast can be 2-3 minutes. A podcast can be 2-3 hours. Some of my favorite podcasts, actually a podcast that I'm on can average up to 3 hours. And that's on Twit. When we do This Week in Tech, we can spend 3 hours recording that podcast. And we don't hyper edit that one either. We kind of just let it be a conversation amongst friends. It's kind of a recording of 4 friends at the bar talking about tech and going over the tech news for the week. That's basically what the show is. Show is almost 20 years old, and it's still one of the highest rated tech podcasts in the game. So you can absolutely take your show. So here's an example. Mr. CrossFit Master Gymtainment 7761. I think I got it right. You can go and do a series on, good exercises for people over 40. Like, here's how you start, here's how you work your way through, and you go all the way through. That will be your main subject matter. In the middle of that show, you might put in a quick nutrition tip. That whole thing could be 5 minutes. And you could put those in a playlist that are like quick actions or, motivational things to get you through a set or just, do a set with me. This all could be just in a single list. And that's the playlist for when you're at the gym. But then you could take your live streams and put them in a podcast and, do it that way. Don't get caught behind the label of what is a podcast. But it is absolutely important for everybody that's listening to this. It's absolutely important that you create a YouTube podcast. regardless of what your content is. If you have content that kind of goes in a straight line, and the reason for that is that's going to build your circle of influence. That's going to build your authority. When someone goes to search for information about, say, CrossFit, and you are the person who's creating the most content around that, especially if it's providing valuable information, you will come up the highest because search is now generated by looking at content on YouTube, more so even than content that's on blogs. Blogs. Writing on blogs is too easy to manipulate SEO, whereas content that's sort of recorded, it's a little bit harder to do that. So YouTube is also, Google at YouTube also giving you a little bit of credit for being the person who generates answers to the questions that people are asking. So if you want to know what to put in this podcast, Mr. CrossFit Masters Gymtainment 7761 is go to Google real quick and do a search on CrossFit space, and then whatever the first 20 things that pop up, those are the ones that you should be answering in this podcast. And then you'll fly to the top of Google because they're pulling the results directly out of the transcripts from YouTube. So that's an excellent question. It's super easy to make a YouTube podcast, and I highly suggest you do it. I highly suggest every creator out there make a YouTube podcast right now. As a matter of fact, now that you mention it, I'm going to go convert my 30 days of Da Vinci into a podcast. And it's not even really about whether that podcast is going to end up on Apple or grow. I don't think that stuff really matters anymore. Most people are watching from a television, sitting in their living room, or they're watching on the TV somewhere. And that's all you need to do. Just create content, label it what you want, and podcast can be whatever you want. If you want to make a 5-minute podcast, knock yourself out. If you want to make a 5-hour podcast, knock yourself out. But don't get it twisted. There's one more YouTube update I wanted to bring to you. YouTube has made I don't want to call it recant, but they made an adjustment to their YouTube advertising policy. It used to be for like the last 3 or 4 years, if you were to be a potty mouth like me and drop an F-bomb within the first 7 seconds of a video, it could be set up to not be monetized. Well, they pulled their pants up and they decided to let go of that and stop controlling things that people like me with potty mouths will say. And you're not going to get demonetized if you drop an F-bomb in the first 7 seconds of a video. I don't suggest it, but hey, sometimes you fire it up. Sometimes you fire it up. And at least they're not going to punish you for it anymore. So if my videos get a little bit more spicy, it's because YouTube said I can drop F-bombs. So F that. I'm back in the saddle again. You know what I say? I don't know who needed to hear this other than CrossFit Masters Gymtainment 7761. I said it again. Other than that person and other than my buddy MC, I don't know who else needed to hear this. But if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, press the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and right about now, the algorithm is going to show you a video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in talk.